Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or of course welcome to my channel if you're new. If you are new, then hello, lovely to meet you. My name is Alex, and if you are new here, make sure you stick around and subscribe. If you're not new and you've been here for a while, then why not make sure that notification bell is switched on just so you're notified every single time that I upload. Now for today's video, I have a super exciting one because we are going to be reviewing a new palette by Morphe. So Morphe have released their holiday collection, or at least they call it a holiday collection. It's not quite Christmassy in my opinion. The packaging is absolutely beautiful and I love it, but the colour story of the big palette is just a neutral palette. I was so tempted to buy it, but my Patreon sort of brought me back down to earth and said, Alex, you have so many neutral palettes, you do not need that by Morphe. However, they did release a mini palette for the holiday collection, and this one is a little bit more colourful, a little bit more exciting, so I decided to pick up the 9X L'IL Extra Artistry palette by Morphe, and we're going to be reviewing this today. So in the collection they had the big eyeshadow palette, a small eyeshadow palette, a brush collection, and also a lip kit. I decided to just be good and get one palette. I don't need another brush set and I've got plenty of lip products, so I thought I'd just get this little palette to review. This actually cost £12, the big one cost £25. How beautiful is this packaging? I absolutely love it. The actual palette itself has the same packaging as what's on the box, and this is the inside of the eyeshadow palette. This is so beautiful. I absolutely love this. I will throw a picture up on screen of the big palette just so you can see what it looks like, but it is literally just like a palette full of brownie neutrals. Last year's ones was pinky neutrals and I absolutely love that palette, but now I just have so many neutral palettes I didn't need another one that looked like this, so I thought I'd get the little mini one and be good. So that's what the palette looks like, and let's get into the swatches. Okay, so these are the swatches for the palette. It's actually very, very pigmented, and I love the shade selection in here. I wish this was matte because this actually has shimmer particles in it. I don't know if you can tell that on camera. I wish that was matte because that would have been great to be as like a dark outer corner shade, but I probably could still make that work. If I tapped it off, I could probably get some of the glitter particles out of it. I love the pink tones in here, the browns. It's just a very gorgeous palette. The one shade I would have added to this and replaced with one of these is like a bright icy shade, because like knowing me, I want to put that all over my cut crease, but what am I going to put in the corner? Do you know what I mean? So we have like a dark pink shimmer and this bronzy one here, but it's most likely that I'm going to go for a shimmer like this. But anyways, this is what the palette looks like swatched. Let's get started on the eye look. Okay, so I've just primed my eyes using the Beauty Bay eye base. Thought I'd mix it up today because I always use the Revolution one. I'm going to start off with Raise a Toast, which is the brown in the palette here, and I'm just going to start off by putting this in my crease. Then I'm going to take a little bit of Holiday, which is this pink shade here, and I'm just going to build that up a little bit in my crease. It has got shimmer particles in it, but I'm still going to take it anyway. This is the shade Accessorize, and I'm going to use that to blend out my top edges. I'm just going to go back in with that original brush just to touch up the edges. I'm actually going to take a little bit more of Holiday, the pink, and blend that. That was a bit too much, wasn't it? Next, I'm going to take the shade Merry and Bright. This is quite a pink, a ready based pink, and I'm going to put that in my outer and inner corners just to bring back that pigment a little bit because it's gone a bit wish-washy. Then back in with my first brush just to blend this all in. As I said earlier, I would normally take the gold, but I'm going to see how I get on with this shade first. So I'm going to take Best Dressed, this one. Personally, I would have liked to see like another light shimmer, like the icy shade, because I just don't think two dark shimmers are necessary. That's my opinion though, just mine. I'm going to take this. Look how beautiful this is. If I want to, there we go, who wants to zoom. This is very beautiful, and I'm just going to pop this in the middle of my lid. Okay, I think this is beautiful, but I am going to take a little bit of gold outside. I cannot help myself, but just like the tiniest bit, I'm just going to pop it right in the middle. Like right in the middle, not anywhere else. Just so we have like a little bit of a pop in the middle, because I cannot help it. For my lower lash line, I'm going to take the shade Feeling Rich, which is this dark brown down here, and I'm going to put that all the way across. And then for the inner corners and brow bone, I'm going to take Gold Outside, which is the lightest shimmer in the palette. Yeah, I definitely would have loved to seen a like icy shimmer in here. But that is just me, guys. That is what I love to see in eyeshadow palettes. Next, I'm going to take the Renaissance Flick Eyeliner by Revolution, and I'm going to add a wing because I'm just feeling a wing today. Okay, so these are my wings. This one is definitely bigger than this one, but it's totally fine. This is a completed eye look. I'm going to now hop off camera. I'm going to put some mascara and lips on, and then I'll be back with my final thoughts. Right, so I'm back, and this is my completed look. So for my mascara, today I used my Benefit Bad Gal Bang mascara. I've almost run out of this again. I literally love that mascara so much. I will literally just continue to repurchase that. My lips are a Doll Beauty lipstick in the shade My Love. This is what it looks like, and yeah, this is my completed look. Definitely something a bit different for me in terms of like using a darker shimmer. Even though I did put a pop of gold on there, you still like can't see it that much. So yeah, a little bit different for me. I love that I added the wing. I feel like it did finish off the look. Let me know down below what you think. These crinks in my hair are driving me insane. They look so bad, but I cannot be bothered to straighten them. So yeah, let's finally sit down and talk about the 9X L'IL Extra eyeshadow palette. So firstly, A star for the packaging. I absolutely love it. It's got this like pinky kind of peachy vibe to it with all the stars over it. I'm obsessed. I love that they did a mini version this year. They didn't actually do that last year, so I appreciate they've done a little version for someone who doesn't like big eyeshadow palettes. I get comments all the time saying that they find big palettes really overwhelming, so I'm glad they did a little version as well. I love that there's a little mirror in here, and the colour story of it is actually very beautiful. There is definitely a couple of things I would personally change about this. Obviously a light enough icy shimmer, and maybe making this a fully matte brown instead of like a shimmery brown. It's not even a shimmer, it's literally a matte brown with like shimmery particles in it. Like, I don't understand why brands do that, because to me it doesn't make sense. Are you a matte or are you a shimmer, you know? Apart from that, I absolutely love this palette. I did use this one up here, which has got shimmer particles in it to blend at the top of my edges, but I did tap off a lot of these shimmer particles. It does work, but I would just prefer it to be matte, you know what I mean? Apart from that, I love the colour story. It's super, super pretty. This is definitely a lot more deeper than the big eyeshadow palette, I think. Obviously, I haven't seen much of that palette, but I'm sure this one has more pinks and dark browns in it, whereas the big one is more of a massive light neutral palette. I could be totally wrong, but basically, I do prefer the colour story of the mini eyeshadow palette just because it's something a tiny bit different from the big one, and it's not just all light browns. There is a mixture between like pinks, dark reddy pinks, browns, dark browns, and a few different shimmers. So I do love the colour story of this palette, and I feel like if the big one is a little bit too boring for you, then you might like this little one instead. Now the actual formula of this palette is really, really good. The mattes were really pigmented. Even though I went in and built up the mattes on my lid, they still blended out really nicely. So I was really impressed with that, because sometimes with like certain brands, if I keep piling on top mattes on top of each other, it just doesn't look great. It just looks really muddy and not blended. But this really worked, and I do love this look that I created. Even though it's not something I would typically do, I do really like it. It's something a little bit different for me, you know. The shimmer formula was really, really nice. I did use my finger. Not everyone likes to use their finger. I have been using my finger a lot recently, but I just feel like it does apply the shimmer that just extra bit better. Sometimes with a brush it doesn't pick up the full pigmentation. With my finger I feel like it picks up so much of the pigment, and it was really nice on my lid. And the gold inner corner and brow bone is absolutely stunning. £12 for £9 is not a bad price. Would I have preferred it to be probably about £10? Probably, because the big eyeshadow palettes, don't they have like 30 odd shades in them? This only has 9 and it's £12, so I think it's like a tiny bit overpriced, maybe like £10. But you can use like 10% discount codes all the time, and they sometimes send you 20% off discount codes. So if you can get a little bit of money off, this might be a little bit more worthwhile. But it's still an affordable eyeshadow palette, and I think it's super, super pretty. So that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please let me know by smashing the thumbs up button. And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.